So what, we watch anime. So what, we play League. We're just having fun. We don't care who sees. So what, we stay in. It don't bother me. Living young, pale, and nerdy.
Hello and welcome to the Written Entertainment Podcast, episode 340 for what's the date today? March 6th, 2022. God, we're getting old. Joining me this week, we have Andrew Rowe McFain.
Help me. I'm nearly 30.
I'm 34.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're also joined by our baby, Connor, the Cyberpunk Monk Besh.
I'm gonna stay young forever.
How old are you, Connor?
20, almost 29.
Almost. Okay, so you are the baby of the group. Okay, just making sure. And let's talk about where we can find you guys. That's what we do. Connor, where can we find you?
Aroa.website, and if you're going that way, one of those links I want you to check out is Clinton's Core Classics. You can actually check that out anywhere you get fine quality podcasts.
Yeah.
It's a Rise of the Rune Lords first edition actual play podcast. Give us 5 stars if applicable.
And if you're on iTunes, you can leave us a review. I think Spotify, you can just leave the stars or that you like it or not. But with iTunes, you can actually leave a comment. And if you leave a comment, then we'll look at it and we might read it on this podcast or the Clinton's Core podcast. And, bro, where can we find you?
You might also try Aroa.website, considering that's my website.
It's your
You
website.
can find me there.
I
it's
am the
mine.
leech on his website. It's his.
It's true.
I'm just using it.
Yeah. I am also
I
a
mean,
leech on that.
I put both of you there myself, but yeah, it's almost like you put yourselves there.
Exactly. And of course, I'm Nathan Reeton Spruth. You can find me at Reeton everywhere. I'm also on Aroa.website, but you can find me on Twitter, twitter.com/Reeton. You can find me on YouTube, which I have been uploading this very podcast to YouTube. So if you want to see it in video form, we can do that. However, it is just a graphic visualizer or audio visualizer with the Reeton Entertainment logo. But hey, it's something. And then
I
of
want to
course,
do that with my podcast, but I want to do it with like the old Winamp visualizers.
that would be cool. It's surprisingly difficult to find programs that work as an audio visualizer that don't cost a ton of money.
Why do you think I haven't done it yet?
Yeah, like
XM Play.
I have one. I found one that works for the
XM Play.
What is that?
That's the media player that I use for like everything.
Okay, yes,
and
but
it supports Winamp
Okay.
audio visual plugins.
okay, that's great. But what I mean is like video editing software that has audio visualizers built in.
No, you want specifically the Winamp ones.
But
You get that from XM Play.
right, but if you're trying to upload it to YouTube,
Just screen record the visualizer window.
but that would take a long time, Aroa.
So what?
Uh,
It's
anyway,
worth it. You get the cool visuals.
so there are certain audio visualizer programs for like Premiere and mainly After Effects. But yeah, for a free version, it's pretty hard to find. I was able to find one, but anyway, my main thing is I stream Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time to 9 p.m. Pacific time, at twitch.tv/Reeton. So go and follow me there. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 followers, and 4,000 subscribers. That's my plan. I think that's probably reversed on what it should be, but that's okay. I'm cool with more subscribers than I am followers. Anyway, let's move on and we'll ask Aroa what games he played this week.
So like most people, I played Elden Ring quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Demon Souls or Dark Souls.
Did
You
you
know-
press the dodge button?
I do press the dodge button quite a bit. I also press the jump button quite a bit.
Do you
Those
press
innovative-
the block button as the attack is coming, and then you parry the attack And then you do a dodge again so you can get behind him and then do the cool backstabby sneak attacky.
I do not parry really because I primarily am a two-handed sword wielder. I tend to jump backwards and then sprint and then do a jumping attack to try to knock the person off balance. Or I'll just charge at them and do a strong attack as I'm charging and do a spin thing, and that will usually knock them back. And then I
I
can
see.
run over and beat them up.
And to win.
Yeah, it's
That's
I know,
that's the traditional way to fight with a bastard sword and a great sword. Big
exactly.
arcing swoops.
Yeah, and like that, I really like Elden Ring quite a bit. I like the Souls games in general. But I've rarely had the patience to slog my way through them. Um, Elden Ring does not feel quite the same as the others. It always seems like if you get to a place where you can't proceed, you can just turn around and go somewhere else. And that is not the case in any other Souls game I've ever played.
You can kind of do that in there's some branching paths in Souls games,
Yeah,
but
but
not
it's
as much.
There's
yeah,
definitely a recommended path.
Yeah.
right. Like, and no matter what, like it always feels very railroaded in the Souls games that I have played, where it seems like yeah, you have choices, but the developers obviously had a path in mind, and there's a definitive difficulty curve that you're supposed to be going up.
Right, because
And
oh, I'm sorry, go on.
well, Elden Ring kind of feels like the Breath of the Wild to the Ocarina of Time that is Dark Souls. Where like yes, you have well maybe more like Majora's Mask that is Dark Souls, because yes, you have like some options, but obviously the developers wanted you to go a particular way, and you can't just go and do whatever the hell you want. Uh, Elden Ring very much is built around being an open world game through and through, and even some minor things impress me in like how you can encounter them in a different way than how somebody else playing the game. A really cool example was uh, if you happen to go this particular route, you can encounter an NPC who gives you a summon, uh, and it would potentially be the first summon that you receive. And you end up meeting her later once you get the ability to go to the sort of like hub area or home area. Um, I've been watching somebody else play the game, and they did not even meet that NPC until they got the ability to go to that home area, and they weren't given the uh, the summon until later on because they just didn't talk to the person enough, really. But it was just cool to me that like even something as minor in that can have a completely different path for two different players.
Right.
And like he spent literally over 20 hours missing this encounter that I ran into within the first hour and a half of my playing the game. It's a really cool encounter. And like just that you can casually walk by stuff like that, it really gives this like there are secrets like just over that hill or behind that row of bushes kind of feeling, that this feeling of exploration, and I love that a lot in games, and I feel like it's not captured very successfully very often. Like Breath of the Wild gave me that feeling, and Elden Ring really gives me that feeling, and it's cool.
Well, that's good. I still will never play it because it's Dark Souls.
I am happy that people are having fun with this game, even though I acknowledge it's not a game made for me.
Yeah. Like
And
I don't care that other people like the game, but they get really mad when I say I don't like the game. When I say I don't like Dark Souls games at all.
And I can totally understand that because it's a very specific play style that like I totally can get not wanting to participate in it because it is frustrating. It's frustrating to walk into a wall over and over again. I do appreciate a lot of the quality of life stuff that they've put in, where instead of, because like in the other Souls games, you can go all the way through like this long ass fucking encounter, and you kill like 20 dudes, and you spent like over half an hour trying to get through all this shit, and then you get up to some major guy or a boss or something, and you die, and then you go all the way the fuck back, and you got to go through all those assholes again to just get one more chance at the boss. And there's a very a very lenient checkpoint system that kind of mitigates a lot of that frustration.
That's good.
It's just a very refined experience in every way, and that makes me very happy.
Well-
I'm really happy uh it's not just Lord of the Rings taped on top of Dark Souls.
Right.
Like,
Well-
it feels like its own game.
We'll talk about it when I talk about the games I played. But I think that if Dark Souls, even if like, I understand if you die in an area and you go back to the last bonfire, I get that. But if you're on a boss, I think it would be nice if you could either restart that boss fight or start right before the boss.
That's what I'm saying. You can in Elden Ring.
Okay. See, that would make it probably a lot less frustrating for a lot of people.
Yeah, like they have this secondary checkpoint system that where you can't like rest and like change up your shit at these checkpoints. They're little statues, but you can use them as another starting point so that you don't have to trek through all the bullshit. So basically, if you feel like your current build and setup or whatever, like, it is good enough, or that you have the equipment you need, then you can keep ramming your face into the wall over and over again. But if you want to give up, you can. You can just, you know, you have to go through all that shit again.
Yeah, I love giving up.
Yeah, I just think it's really great. And the one last thing with Elden Ring is I really, really appreciate, like with most of the Dark Souls games, how different your character can be from somebody else. And like, particularly with how fleshed out sorcery is in Elden Ring, which I don't use sorcery at all, but it's really fucking cool to see somebody else who's built around sorcery being able to do these like crazy ass magic attacks that like my character is literally incapable of doing. And like having that individual player identity being expressed not just through like what they're wearing or their like how the character's designed, but like actual gameplay is really neat, and I feel like doesn't happen as often as it should.
Yeah. Did you play anything else this week?
The only other thing, I've been playing Neo: The World Ends with You, which came out on the Epic Game Store, so I didn't pay for it.
Oh, good.
As in, I pirated it because fuck you, Epic.
Oh, okay, I see.
So yeah, it's a sequel, I believe, to The World Ends with You, which was a game on the DS, which was later re-released on phones and then on the Switch. And it's an action RPG that takes place entirely within like it's real world Japan. It might just be in like the what the fuck is the the district everybody knows about that I can't remember the name of right now.
Shinjuku?
No.
Akihabara.
Yeah, I think it all takes place there. I'm not totally sure, but either way, the combat in the DS one involved controlling two different characters, one on the top screen, one on the bottom screen. And on the top screen, you're like inputting a series of button presses to like execute these weirdly complex spells and shit. And then on the bottom screen, you're like dragging the stylus around to like have this dude pick up shit and do attacks. I don't know, it's fucking weird.
My brain did not work with the DS game. My brain I could not switch between the two screens for battle.
Like I've never played it. So this whole fucking time, all that I knew in my head was I remember like I remembered that the DS game looked like it was something I wouldn't want to play. And I couldn't remember why, and I just assumed it must have just been a turn-based RPG because I don't like those. Too much at least. I've been kind of coming around it, but either way. Then I looked up gameplay of the original, and I was like, wait, what? That's what this is?
Yeah.
That looks cool as hell. Because the soundtrack was recommended to me on Spotify. And so then I got into that. I was like, fuck yeah, this sounds cool as fuck. I gotta see what this game is. And I was like, wow, that's cool. And like, wasn't there a sequel or something that came out on I thought it came out on Switch, but I don't think it actually did. But I looked up the more recent remake thing, and yeah, it's really cool. It's like it kind of plays like a beat 'em up sort of thing or something. Like it is a really weird thing where like each attack is bound to a particular button and like and to like an individual character. So like if you equip a character with a certain spell, that spell will have a button assignment to it. So you can't like have two different characters with the same button assignment attack. And then like in combat, you try to get off a combo with one character, which then sets the enemy up for an alley-oop with another character, and you start mashing on their button or otherwise using their attack, and then that will trigger this combo thing that fills up your super meter. And if you do that enough times, then you get like this fucking spirit bomb shit. Like it looks really fucking weird, but like actually playing it, it's fun as fuck. And the music is cheesy as hell, and the voice acting ranges between taking itself way too seriously and fully acknowledging that this is a cheesy fucking game that's like for Kingdom Hearts diehards. Uh, I think it's great so far.
Good. Maybe
And
will you try the first game?
I probably will. I really want to play the DS version. I don't want to play the mobile remake because it seems like it kind of squanders everything that the original had going for it. And like from what somebody in a YouTube comment said, the original game did a really it had an interesting concept of, because of like the themes of the game, the way that the combat works feeds into that theme of the game of like trying to learn to work together with other people. And I think that's a really cool idea. So I'd like to experience it the way that it was originally meant to be experienced, even
Good.
if that means being really confusing and weird.
It is really confusing, and I had it on the DS because you know, of course, I listened to podcasts and stuff back then when it came out, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's an amazing game," and I could not figure out how to go between the two different screens.
It is an extremely like weeaboo centric game, I feel, too.
Yeah.
Like I think that's kind of what's getting me around any of the like, because it feels like it's written for somebody who's like 14, but I'm like getting through it very very easily because I'm like a fucking 16-year-old weeb inside of a 30-year-old man's body.
Yeah. We're going to move on. We're going to talk to Connor about the games that he's played this week and see if he has a Warhammer minute.
Hey, that's me. I've played a decent amount of Space Station 13 this week, and I'll tell you what happens sometimes with games like Mafia or whatever, where you know, sometimes you feel like being the bad guy, sometimes you feel like being the one who gets into a little bit of trouble or makes things interesting. But I keep on getting like just boring civilian jobs. But I also keep on finding ways to get interesting things to happen. For example, I was playing a game today that I want to talk about really quickly, wherein I was the janitor. And good thing about the janitor is their cleaning gloves allow you to do things like touch wires that are hot and not get shocked to death. So when the station AI goes haywire and starts turning off the oxygen and leaking plasma into the hallways, causing them to catch fire, you want somebody who could A, knows what they're doing, and B, take a hit to go in there to fix everything. Engineering tried and failed, security tried and failed. And I was like, well, looks like it's my turn. And for being able to go in and kill switch the AI, they promoted me to captain. And sometimes you start your day as a janitor and end it as the captain.
Good job. Proud of you on that one.
And that was fun. And it's a game where silly nonsense like that can always happen, and I can't recommend it enough.
Good. Did you play anything else?
Yeah, I played Triangle Strategy because that came out on the Nintendo Switch. My save file has 3.5 hours on it. I've done 2 battles.
Okay. Good.
There
Good.
is a lot of conversing in this game.
Yeah.
There's a decent amount of political intrigue. I have a feeling these kingdoms are about to go to war. Something about salt's really important.
Oh no, it's spice. You gotta get the
No,
spice.
it's salt.
Oh, the
It's
salt.
salt.
Oh, okay.
There's one kingdom has salt, one kingdom has iron, and then the kingdom you're from has trade, basically. And I was actually kind of a little underwhelmed by how it's been developed. I'm hoping that they'll get into it more a little later on, but everything's like, we are the Salt Kingdom. We have salt. That's us. That's what we do.
That's interesting. Well, not really
Like every
interesting,
time
but
you
okay.
talk of somebody there, there's 2 things they mention. Our kingdom is the Holy Kingdom. We have salt. And the other ones are, we're from where it's cold. We have iron. Do you get it? These are our resources and these are what we stand for. We don't want to overcomplicate it. Let's talk about it for 4 hours, though.
Yeah, and then we'll do some battles, maybe.
I wish there were some battles.
I hear good things. A lot of people are really excited for it, so hopefully it does get better. But
It
sometimes,
feels like Final Fantasy Tactics. So
Yeah.
far, I can't change any classes. You're sort of stuck with what you have, and that's not really what I was signing up for. But I'm hoping, by the looks of it, we'll be able to expand on that later on. Maybe 6 hours or 10 hours into the game when it
Yeah.
opens up.
not 35 hours into the game.
God, I hope not. I hope
Yeah.
not.
Did you play anything else?
No, I was supposed to play Warhammer, but they had to back out last minute.
That's your Warhammer minute.
That's my Warhammer second.
Yeah. We were gonna do it, but then we didn't. That's the end.
That's life.
And for me, we're gonna move on to me. The game that I played, I only played God of War. I want to try to beat it before Tuesday, when WWE 2K22 comes out, because I'm definitely gonna
Oh shit!
play that. What? Oh shit!
I didn't know it came out Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, okay. So it's dumb. The official release date is Friday, but if you pre-order the game, you get it 3 days early, so it comes out on Tuesday.
Oh, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah. So of course I pre-ordered it because I was gonna get it anyway on Friday, so might as well just fucking be stupid and pre-order. I did not. I got the $60 version. There's a $120 version that comes with like 3 extra characters, and I was like, nah, I'm
And
good.
it doesn't come with the game.
No, it does come with the game. Thankfully, it does come with the game. But first off, Connor, we mentioned last week he wanted it to be Worf and Alexander from Star Trek: The Next Generation. And then he mentioned this week during the stream that he's like, wait, how about we mod it so it's Bobby Hill or Hank Hill and Bobby. So like he could just be like going along and be like, damn it, Bobby.
I think it'd be great.
But I'm gonna give some spoilers in the game on this podcast. It's a few years old now. I don't really care. I know not everyone has played it, but whatever. It's not a big spoiler, but did you know that Kratos is a god, or at least a demigod?
I knew he was at least half.
Yeah, I think he's a demigod. I haven't really played the original ones, but I'm pretty sure he's a demigod.
No,
and
he's a god.
Oh, he is a god. Okay, so he is a god, and then his son is a demigod.
Right.
But in the game, like he doesn't tell his kid that he's a demigod.
Yep.
Which, so like they're going through it, and at the beginning of the game, for the first, long part of the game, you'll meet people and your son's like, oh, we need to help them. Like, there are people, they need help. And you just keep going through the game. And then eventually you're like, all right, you're a god. I'm a god, you're a god. We're gods. And like after that, your son becomes an absolute douchebag.
Yeah, that's why Kratos didn't want to tell him. He
Yeah.
didn't want his son to become a piece of shit like every other god he's ever met.
And he does, like, immediately. It's not like, oh, okay, I gotta like figure out what's going on and then no, it's just like you run into your friend who's been helping you make your armor and shit, and he's like whining about something, and he's like, and the kid is just like, we don't give a shit. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like even Kratos was like, dude, calm down.
Don't embarrass us in front of the dwarves.
Exactly. And so he just becomes like I assume there's like some arc where he gets redeemed or something and like isn't a douchebag, but like there for probably a couple of hours he's just gonna be an asshole, which is annoying. And he's just like, so now that I know I'm a god, we can do whatever the fuck we want, right? Yeah, sure, whatever.
Boy.
You see how I'm not teleporting to the next location and I'm rowing this fucking boat? Apparently we can't do whatever we want.
Not how it works, you little asshole.
Yeah. So, but to be fair, I have to say, best God of War game ever made.
I'd agree with that. I don't care for him in the same way I wouldn't care for The World Ends With You, but it is a good game. Also,
Yeah.
not for me.
Yeah. And you can tell they took inspiration from Dark Souls. But they also, like, if you die in a boss fight, you respawn right before the boss fight.
Well, and you also presumably don't lose all your experience points.
Yeah, that's helpful as well. Yeah, that's pretty great. I'm very happy with that part of it. But yeah, it's a good game, and I would highly recommend it, especially if you get a PS5 and you buy and you have PlayStation Plus, you get like those 30 games included. So you can just you could play that. I think God of War is one, Days Gone is one. I can't remember like any of the other ones, but those are the two that you should play. Definitely Days Gone.
That way, after you spend $800 on your scalped PS5, you still have some games to play.
I think I paid $600, but it was from Newegg, and it was on the Newegg Shuffle, so it wasn't scalped.
Did they include an exploding power supply with it?
No, unfortunately not. They included the camera, which I'm never gonna use. They included an extra.
There's a camera?
Yep, there's a camera and a remote that I got because I had to buy the bundle. So they included the camera, the remote, and a charging station for the controllers and an extra controller. So it wasn't, but I also got the discless version. But that's the only game I played this week was God of War, and it's good.
Why
and
does
I
this
haven't.
camera exist?
I don't know. Skype? Discord?
Someone who
I
has
don't know.
no other camera.
I don't know. I was thinking about plugging it into my computer and seeing if it worked as a camera. Like a actual...
Oh, you can use it as a face cam while you're streaming. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Anyway, but next week it's definitely going to be God of War, and then WWE 2K22 is my plan. That's my plans. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about some news stories. First one is all about us wanting $300,000. This is from Engadget. I saw this today, and it said YouTube reportedly offers podcasters up to $300,000 to create videos. And it says here in the article, YouTube might be eager to compete against giant podcast hosts like Amazon, Apple, and Spotify. Bloomberg sources say YouTube is offering podcasters grants to produce videos, including filmed versions of their shows. Individual show creators would receive $50,000, while podcast networks, which is us, we're a podcast network, would receive $200,000 or $300,000.
Oh yeah, I guess technically, you do have more than one podcast.
You're welcome.
Yeah. That we have not been contacted by YouTube quite yet. But if they did, we'd be making videos. If they were
I
like,
actually have a pretty good idea, and I'm gonna just send you guys an email real quick. There you go. You both have it in your inbox. That's an NDA. But I have a great idea about this. What if? So you know, like Critical Role, they've already gotten pretty successful. I'm sure that's a big influence on this. What if you do that with like the tools that the streamers use, where it replaces themselves with anime bullshit, and you do that to be your character?
well, yeah, one of the things I would like is not necessarily posting the Clinton's Core podcast, but take snippets of like the best, like a 3-minute section, and then
I
have
was actually
somebody
recommended to me that I make a trailer like that.
yeah, and then have
a
somebody
teaser.
animate it. Yeah, that would be. I think that would be really cool. But none of my friends are good at that.
Nope.
No.
Animating is a really big time investment.
Yeah, even if it's just like 2D stuff, it would take a lot of time and probably a lot of effort for somebody to do that. So,
I'd do it, but I'm bad at it.
I'm
Let's do it in
terrible.
Halo Machinima, you guys.
You're like, no, I think that Aroa would
Garrus
do it
mod.
Aroa would do it in Paint, which would be nice. But yeah,
I used to make Flash cartoons.
If somebody made a
they're
Sweet
awful.
Bro and Hella Jeff level quality cartoon of Clinton's Core Classic, I would be so honored.
yeah, that would be nice. It would be cool, especially if we got like fan art that I know somebody who does comic, like he reviews comic books and stuff. People send in him in fan art, and he shows it off on his YouTube. But it says here, Google has declined to comment on it. YouTube is already home for some podcasts, but it hasn't pursued that episodic content as aggressively as Spotify and others typically audio-focused services. There have been hints of changes, though, such as appointing executive Kai Chuk to lead the podcasting strategy. In Canada, YouTube has stopped requiring paid premium accounts to play audio in the background. Only in Canada, though.
If they did that in the United States, I'd cancel my YouTube Premium subscription immediately.
Yeah. So anyway, that's cool. If some podcasters are able to receive that. Honestly, like I know we're small and this is never gonna happen. But if they even offered us $50,000, I'd be like, hey guys,
I'd
gonna
start doing face cam.
Yeah, I was like, we're just do face cam and then record it.
I would absolutely be down for turning it into a video podcast for fucking $5,000. Like, I don't even give a shit.
I would do it for less than throw a zero anywhere off of that, and I'd still do it.
Yeah, like you're gonna give me $50, I'll do an episode. Yeah, sure, whatever. Like,
whatever. I might even put a shirt on. I don't know. But yeah, so that's neat. Hopefully some good podcasts will go to YouTube because of this. But we will move on.
Wait. I just want to ask, and I think I've asked this before whenever we've talked about like how podcasts are like really blowing up right now. But like, isn't it weird that we're living in like, I don't know, like 2004 again, and like everyone's doing a podcast now?
Everyone's always been doing podcasts, as far as like they've been around.
Yeah.
It's just weird that like it's blowing up as if it's a new medium.
Yeah, I think it's because so many people are just working from home.
Ding ding.
Yeah, and we just have so many people who are just like, I can watch YouTube or listen to podcasts while working and not have to be worried about other people.
I spent the
Yeah.
last 2.5 years listening to people talk all day while you work. You go, I could do that.
Yeah. But what
Look
I
at
don't
us.
like about it is we've been going on for like 6 years now, guys. Like
Yep.
we've been doing it for a long time.
Yep. And with 0.01% growth.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Yeah, terrible growth. I
I've
suck
been
at
doing
marketing.
this with you since before the Read and Entertainment podcast.
That was
Our
a
ships have already
failure.
sank before.
That was not my fault, okay? That was less to do with my fault because we had There Be Geeks and Jake, the guy who was paying for it, theoretically,
Supposedly.
I noticed that the site went down and I was like, hey man, what will it cost to bring the site back? Like, because we've been working on it. Because like Connor, or I was posting stuff and Connor was doing, I think, some stuff on it.
I was writing reviews of comic books.
Yeah. And so he's like, oh, it's $15 a month. I just didn't have the money. And I was like, here's $45. Bring it back up. Just put $45 on it and pay for it for 3 months. And then like 2 months later, it went down again and I couldn't contact Jake. And so it just died just because he would not pay the $15 a month bill. And he could have just messaged me and been like, hey, do you want to pay for this? And I would have spotted him the money. Did not care. So that's why I created this whole site. But anyway, we've been doing this for a long time. We're going to continue doing it because we're silly, and eventually one day in the far off future we'll get a new theme song and get rid of Jake being the voice of the podcast, I guess. But did you know?
Oh, what? We play Elden Ring.
Did you know?
I couldn't help myself.
Eat shit, Greg Abbott. Apparently, I don't know the whole controversy. I think that there's something going on in Texas right now with people. They're like trying to ban kids from being trans.
They made up this service where they're like, hey, call the police on your neighbors. Report this. Get those kids deported.
Deported? I don't know if it's deported, but
deported from their parents.
Okay.
I don't know if Texas has that. Arizona definitely has that, but
I'm pretty sure Texas, because it's saying, I've seen it on Twitter, but it says get for Itch.io.
no, I meant the deportation.
Oh, okay, I got you. It says get nearly 500 games for $5 with its Itch.io or itch.io bundle to help the Texas trans community. So you can get 500 games for $5 from itch.io, and most of them are probably going to be crap. Let's be fair. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They do always have some outliers that are good. But that's okay. It says here how you can help. So let's read the first part. This is from Destructoid. In Florida, we have the Don't Say Gay bill, which would create a legal minefield for teachers if discussions of LGBTQ topics come up in class. Big props to Disney for continuing to support the legislators behind it. Arkansas has signed legislation. I think that must have been support legislators behind it. Okay.
Reedon, I just want to mention that I really like the way that you say LGBTQ like you're a goddamn speak and spell.
Sorry, I want to get it correct. Arkansas has signed legislation banning trans girls from participating in school sports. Arkansas is also the unhealthiest states in the U.S., so I don't really think they should be discouraging anyone from participating in physical activities. And then we have the Texas Governor Greg Abbott. In a truly sick and twisted directive, Abbott has called on members of the public to report parents who are allowing their kids to receive gender-affirming medical care to authorities. This is in accordance with an opinion released by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, who claimed such medical treatment amounted to child abuse in the state. Investigations are already underway on parents though some district attorneys in Texas are refusing to comply, and the ACLU and Lambda Legal are currently fighting the directive. So basically, they're assholes. And remember, this is the same state, I believe, one of the states that has made it so that if you have an abortion after 6 weeks, you could get a $10,000 fine. So, and they circumvented it because now your neighbors have to report it. So, like, if a Roa got pregnant and got an abortion after 6 weeks, I could
As
call.
he's known to do.
Yeah, as in, I could call and sue him for $10,000.
Let me tell you something. I had an abortion yesterday, if you know what I mean.
Was that?
I unfortunately do, I think.
I think I know what you mean, and I don't want to know what you mean, so I'm gonna move on. I've actually met Roa in real life. I know what he looks like.
Them's fighting words, sir.
So
you know what's kind of cool though about that is that I was 35 pounds fatter whenever you met me.
oh, good. I'm happy you lost some
Yeah.
weight. It's good. I was about 25 pounds heavier when you met me.
And you didn't even look that bad.
No, I do look a lot thinner now. I look like a crackhead. It's true.
I'm not gonna go there.
It's all that crack he smokes.
Yeah, it's all that crack helped out a lot.
Runs in the family.
Yes. Well, no,
Nothing
she
runs
did
in
meth.
this
She didn't do crack.
Oh,
okay?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was
so,
insensitive of me.
yeah. So how can you help with the Texas stuff? It's
Give money to Itch.
yeah. Right now, at itch.io, you can get the TGRPGs for trans tabletop role-playing games for trans rights in Texas bundle.
It's 5 letters.
For just $5, you'll get access to 493 items or games, which with proceeds going to support the Transgender Education Network of Texas and Organización Latina de Trans en Texas.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Perfect.
I've been kind of scrolling through this catalog this whole time. There's like tabletop stuff. There's Pathfinder. It's 3rd edition content, but like 5th edition supported stuff. There's a lot in this bundle for $5.
And then it provides assistance to trans individuals in needs. And if Greg Abbott's directive is allowed to continue, there are going to be a lot of trans kids needing help soon. So let's take a look. This party sucks.
Why don't we all take a third and we'll list all 497? No, please, please
No.
don't even start. This is a bad idea, Nathan.
While you were scrolling through, did you see any ones in particular that look good?
I did not, and that's why I know we should pull the ripcord on this one right now.
Okay.
Nibiru sounds kind of cool. It's some kind of
5-second rule looked okay. There's a lot of like heist stuff on here. There's one that's just you space heist a space train. That's what the description is.
no.
It looks like a tabletop
Okay,
game.
I found the diamond in the rough right here.
What's that?
It's called Jonathan Frakes wants your attention, and you must not give it to him.
Yep, I missed that one.
I like it. I did
That's the one
notice
right in the middle of the photo too. How did I miss that?
I did notice some of the it has some Pathfinder 2E stuff on it. And it does have a couple core rule books for games that are probably, let's face it, not necessarily the mainstream Pathfinder or Dungeons and Dragons stuff. So like I see a core rule book for Blackwater. Don't know what that is. But it's $5 for all of these, and I'm sure there are some in here that you could have fun with. And
there's always like some cool stuff, and as is like the status quo for Itch. Like there's going to be at least a handful of things in here that are unlike anything else you've ever experienced because they're made by some fucking wacko with way too much time on his hands.
Yeah. From the Destructoid article, it says some people have pointed out thirsty sword lesbians and Princess with a Cursed Sword are both being sold in this bundle. Normally, Thirsty Sword Lesbians is $15, but again, you can get all of them for $5. So it's slightly better.
I
And
also hate the art style for Thirsty Sword Lesbian. So that looks, I hate that art style right there.
yeah,
But hey, whatever.
but we're gonna move on. If
Before we move on, can one of you guys buy Jonathan Franks Wants Your Attention and You Must
I
Not
bought
Give It to
I
Him?
bought the bundle.
Can we play that sometime, pretty please?
I
I must check this out.
I do want to know what. I don't even know what it is. I just went.
It says it's
Yeah, I
a
wanna-
physical game, so I don't know how that's gonna work out. Maybe we could tabletop simulate it or something.
that's interesting. So click on the link below, the itch.io bundle. The link to Destructoid is there. You can also get to the itch.io bundle from there, and pay $5 and you'll get a bunch of tabletop stuff. And we're gonna move on, and we're gonna talk about cars, our favorite things. We all love them. Weird. Sony is partnering with Honda to make a car or cars. And of course, they're going to be electric vehicles. Do you guys have any notes on that before we start?
That's pretty cool.
So, cool. It says the move
They
costs a
sure
lot
do
of.
make electronics.
They do.
Yeah.
It says this move caused a lot of speculation. This is from Ars Technica. And this January, Sony returned to CES with 2 new electric vehicles. The sedan was called the Vision S01 and was joined by an SUV called the Vision S02. They're fucking good at naming things, apparently. I'm sorry, what was that?
It's kind of a weird name.
Yeah,
I don't think any car has a good name. They're always like Mountain Range,
yeah.
Taurus, bullshit like that. It's the car.
Yeah. Sony was a bit more explicit, saying that it was planning to create a company called Sony Mobility in 2022. And it would explore entry into the EV market. Now those plans are much clearer and don't appear to involve contract manufacturing in Austria, at least initially. Sony and Honda have signed a memorandum of understanding to create this joint venture later this year. Honda is bringing the skills of a car company to the table. Vehicle body engineering and after-sales support. Sony's contributions will be the tech showcased in the Vision S concepts, electronic sensors, networking, and telecommunications. And the new company won't just make electric vehicles, it'll also realize a new generation of mobility and services that are closely aligned with users and the environment.
So they make scooters.
Yeah, they're gonna make hoverboats and those hoverboards that came out. But you'll be able to
caught fire all the time.
Yeah, I really look forward to all those unsold Vitas being put into these cars. That'll be nice. Just have the Vita as your dashboard. It's got a really nice OLED screen, right?
In all seriousness, so having used a Honda that's a little bit older, I love the UI because it is the classic early 2000s, late 90s Japanese UI that is this bizarre combination of both being very sterile but also just it looks like it belongs in an anime. And taking the fact that they're into that, and then that Sony will presumably be doing a lot of the UI development there. And I have traditionally loved almost every UI that I've ever seen from Sony. I'm very interested to see how this works out because my favorite vehicle that I have seen on the market in the last few years was a Mazda. And it's because they put so much thought and effort into how you actually use the vehicle. And I can see that being a big focus of Sony and Honda combined together. I really am curious to see how this works out.
Yeah,
My
I'm
only
curious.
comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
Go on.
No, you
You're
go
really
on.
curious.
You do it.
Okay, my only comment being that I'm not a car person and this is a video game podcast, is I'm very excited for the inevitable patch that allows you to use I don't know, the lady from Horizon Zero Dawn as your car's UI voice.
That would be nice.
I'm
Don't like
looking
that?
forward to driving the vehicle using a PlayStation 6 controller.
There you go.
The
The
6-axis.
haptic
Oh
feedback allows you
god.
to feel it when you're in a crash.
Can you imagine the like gyro controls with it?
Every time you hit a pothole, you vibrate.
You're like just
you hit a bump and accidentally you drop the controller and
Car goes,
the car
"Woo."
just starts spinning wildly out of control.
oh my
Uh.
god, no, that would be a bad idea. No, I was curious about the price of how much.
Oh, it's going to
these
be
were-
unbelievable. It's
Oh.
going to be so far out of our reach that it'll be disgusting.
We need that YouTube money.
So we can buy and review this vehicle in
Just one.
I
That'll be our
was thinking
podcast.
2025 was a long way away. That's only like 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it is not that far away.
It'll be here soon. Let's
it's-
start a new video podcast. We'll call it Podcasters in Priuses Getting Pierogies.
yes.
No one's done that, right? It'll be perfect. We'll tour different electric cars. We'll get $300,000 from YouTube.
Where
be
do you
nice.
get pierogies?
You can get them in Chicago.
Oh,
We get them like frozen here.
Or panini. I don't know what. There's a lot of food that starts with P.
you think I live in
Pizzas.
fucking Little Italy?
I think
Where you
pizzas would
think I
probably be
am?
the easiest to get.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go into
It
a
doesn't
Little
have three
Caesars
syllables though.
drive-through.
It's not as good.
I know.
Get a fucking
Pastrami.
I like pastrami.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
go
yeah.
to a Fazoli's drive-through and get a pastrami.
I don't know what that is. I don't think they
You
have
know what
those here.
Fazoli's is? You know
No.
what Fazoli's?
Nope.
It's like the McDonald's of Italian food.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fair.
sounds
It's not very
delicious.
good. Not very good at all.
No, it's not.
So let's move on from electric vehicles to a topic that we need to be pretty sensitive about in the way that we discuss it.
Jerking off?
Yeah, that's what it is. So, is this real? Is this a real story? And it's not like a Hard Times article.
I mean, the Lad Bible is a real website that's like barely above the level of like Now This.
So it's not a satire site.
It is not a satire site, although maybe it was a satirical thing that somebody at the Lad Bible thought was serious.
That's what I'm wondering. So we're gonna put a little asterisk on this. We don't know if
Might
it's
be
true.
bullshit.
Might be bullshit. Exactly.
Actually, this is not the first time something like this has come up, according to this article.
Okay.
They posted last year about a boss of some kind of adult entertainment company that lets their employees jerk off at work.
Yeah, and there is a website. I believe it's a cam site called Strip Chat.
Yep.
And
Never heard of that one.
And apparently, I'm trying to word this. They're creating pods that you can go into and relax, as it were. Which I don't know. I'd rather just work from home.
Here's my thing on it. They're VR pods, supposedly.
Oh, okay.
So like, I don't want to share the VR headset with somebody who jerked off in it.
I mean,
well,
there's that, and I also just don't want to go into a pod
that somebody just jerked off in.
Yeah, exactly.
Or ever.
And also, like, maybe this is just me. I don't think so, but I wouldn't want to be seen getting in the jerk off pod.
Yeah.
Like it's like kind of on the same level of somebody seeing you go into the stall at the office, you know? Like it's one
Yeah.
thing to go into the bathroom because it's like, everybody's got to piss. But it's like if somebody sees you going into the stall, presumably you're about to unload on that toilet.
Yeah.
And like no one wants anybody to know they're taking a shit.
Right.
And I
right,
would
yeah.
not want anybody to know. It won't go down. It won't stop. I can't concentrate, man. I gotta do this. I don't want anybody to know that.
I know
Yeah.
this makes me a really shitty person. That's why I exclusively use the executive bathrooms at work.
So when I was at Sony,
The implication is
Yeah.
after what I said, you're saying you jerk off work.
No. So when I was at Sony, our first
He's
building,
silent.
our
Why is
first
he
building,
silent?
I don't know. Our first building had
That's what he
a,
was saying, isn't it?
Yeah.
it might be, yeah. So we had 2 bathrooms, I think, and at like 2 to 3, the guys' bathrooms were just full because we had like 200 people there, and there were like 6 stalls, and so it was just always full at around 2 to 3 p.m. And the women's bathroom, because we only had like 5 women that were working there, they were completely empty. I never went in there. But when we moved to our new building, we had quite a few bathrooms, but also at the entrance, there were bathrooms where you had to know the code to get into them, but you could get into the bathroom and they were individual bathrooms with like a shower and everything too, if you wanted to take a shower. So I would always use those bathrooms whenever I needed to go. But now, because I work from home, I don't have to worry about that. And when I do go
You
on
can just
site,
jerk off on the couch.
yeah, exactly. And when there are, when I do go on site, there's only like 4 other people that are there with me, and so I could always, there's always a bathroom that's empty that I can use.
You don't
So I
always
don't really
jerk
worry
off in the
about it.
bathroom.
I do not do that at work. So I am looking at these tubes, and they're just like circular pods that you get into, and there's a TV and a VR headset, and you do your business. And I think that's just weird. I wouldn't like that.
It can't be sanitary. It cannot be sanitary because it's like they'll have lotion, lube, and tissues, and it's like no.
Yeah.
You know, somebody
No.
sat on that same chair with their sweaty bare ass.
Yeah. Well, and
like they got dick goo all over their hand, like not
That's the
cum,
medical
but you
term
know,
for it, goo.
but like you know,
At what point does it become a cheese?
yeah, like you get the guh on your hand, and you're touching the fucking pump, and like who knows where else your hand's going while you're trying to get your rocks off.
Wait. What if they're like those auto dispensing things? You just put your hand under it.
No, you want to put your hand under it.
and like
hand. I said hand.
Okay, and like is there also like a towel and some hand sanitizer in there?
It does say that as well as being equipped with an Oculus Quest, a 4K LED screen, it also comes with lotion, lube, and tissues.
But like you can't dry off your hand that's absolutely saturated in oil lotion shit. Like
They're
you
gonna
can't
do what
just
they do at like airports, where it's just the one roll that goes through the machine over and over. The worst kind.
Yeah. But
like,
yeah, this is definitely,
I gotta use like a full paper towel when I do it.
I don't know if they've thought this through enough, but I mean, I again, this might be satire. It might be, something that not a lot of people, are gonna believe. But we'll see it. Apparently, It could be a thing. So what I need you guys to do is try to work at the strip chat offices and see if this becomes an actual thing.
Be a journalistic mole for
Yep.
the integrity of the site.
Also going to point out this previous boss that I mentioned who allowed their employees to jerk off every day only allowed for a half-hour break.
Those, I mean, half an hour break. It's not long enough, in my opinion.
No.
Like, I used to have, when I was at Consumer Cellular, I worked the 10-hour shift, and the 10-hour shift, you got 3 10-minute breaks, and I believe a 45-minute lunch break. But the 10-minute breaks
saying I
were
can't finish in
useless.
30 minutes.
Well, no, but like even just going to the bathroom in 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I mean, if you can't go to the bathroom in 10 minutes, you might have get the fuck off your phone is all I have to say.
well, no,
I
like
mean,
you have to walk across. Like, it's not just 10 minutes that you have to go to the bathroom. You have to like log out of your computer, stand up, walk to the other side because there's only one set of bathrooms where I used to work. And so if you're on the opposite side of the call center, you have to walk all the way there, which can take a couple of minutes, and then walk all the way back, which can take a couple of minutes. And then if anybody
Can't I
else
be
is there,
both on the team of 30 minutes is not enough for lunch, and also 10 minutes is too long to do your business in the bathroom?
no, you can't. I'm just saying, 10 minutes is not long enough.
I'm just saying.
That's how you get hemorrhoids, man. Trust
Give
me,
me
I
a
know.
poop bucket
Oh yeah,
at my desk, and then everything's fine.
exactly. Just have all the seats be toilets.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, we're going to move on to our last story, and this is kind of indicative of what's happening. This is not the only company that's doing this. There are a ton of other companies that are doing the same thing.
And countries.
Yeah, companies and countries. This one is
CD Projekt Red.
well, yes, but I'm trying to preface it just to give a little bit more information. Everybody knows what's happening in Ukraine. Russia is invading.
Russia's invading Ukraine unjustly.
Yeah.
No one's totally sure why.
Oh, I know why. I know exactly why.
Putin's dick don't work no more.
Yeah. Putin has a tiny penis.
I still don't entirely know what the fuck that dude's end game is.
I have no idea. Like, this was just a bad move.
His country is fucked, right? Like Visa and MasterCard aren't servicing Russia now.
Well, yeah, there's so many things.
So ruble's already worth less than a penny, and now you can't even do credit card transactions. What the fuck are you gonna do, bro?
Yeah. So right now, CD Projekt Red has also said that they're not going to be selling anything in Russia at the moment. It says, while we're not a political entity capable of directly influencing state matters, and we don't aspire to be one, we do believe that commercial entities, when united, have the power to inspire global change in the hearts and minds of ordinary people. We know that the players in Russia and Belarus, individuals who have nothing to do with the invasion of Ukraine, will be impacted by this decision. But with this action, we wish to further galvanize the global community to speak out about what is going on in the heart of Europe. To our brothers and sisters fighting for their home country, stay strong. This
the
is
last part.
While I support that part,
I'm not saying the last part.
Say it.
I don't know how to say that.
It's Slava Ukraini.
I would not have guessed that.
Oh yeah. But also like while I support this and I support the apparent sentiment behind it, is there a cynical side to you guys that makes you think, okay, that like the reason that companies are all joining together on this is because, as I said, the ruble is practically worthless now, and so like why would you continue participating in commerce with a country that essentially has no money?
Well, that's not even the reason that I'm upset about it. It's just the way that the media is portraying it, especially with like European countries, and the way that they're portraying it is They're like, these are our people. Like, the people of Ukraine are just normal people. They watch Netflix and they go on the internet, and we need to accept these people when they come into our country because they're getting invaded.
Oh, and
And
the irony being that they haven't been willing to do that for anybody else.
yeah, and it's let's face it, it's because they're white. It's because the people of Ukraine are white.
Yeah,
And
you're right.
and you have refugees from other places who are trying to escape war-torn countries, and they're refusing to bring them in, or like with Donald Trump and the Republican Party demonizing the people, pretending that they're invading our country and quote Tucker Carlson, making America dirtier.
Because they're brown.
Because they're brown. Like, it's definitely because the Ukrainians, while they and let me just point this out. They definitely need the help, and people should definitely be accepting them as refugees. We also need to do the same thing for people who don't look like us.
Yeah.
Like, it just to say Ukrainians need our support, but ignoring the fact that we have Saudi Arabia is currently committing genocide in Yemen, but yet nobody's doing the same thing for Saudi Arabia. And maybe you're right. Maybe it's because the Saudis have a lot of money and a lot of oil, and that's probably a big part of it. Yeah. But same thing with like WWE. Part of the reason I stopped watching WWE for the most part,
It's just too fake.
No, that doesn't bother me. It was that they have a 20-year deal with Saudi Arabia, and part of that deal happened right after they killed a journalist, and everybody knew that it was state-sponsored murder of a journalist, and WWE was like, they're paying us a lot of money, so we're gonna go over there still. And so they're committing genocide in Yemen, and there are multiple conflicts, in South America, and people are fleeing to the United States, and they want us to just turn them. Well, the Republican Party and a lot of the Democrats just want us to turn them away. So that's why I feel conflicted about it. But on the other hand, like, if these sanctions and if these companies pulling out of Russia, if they're able to get a new like leadership in Russia, then that would be good. I think that would be a very good thing. There is a person that I watch that is a Russian YouTuber. He speaks fluent English, and he's like, "We're fucked. We're all fucked."
Was that Boris?
I think so.
He posted a video today that was very somber for Boris. It seemed appropriate, actually.
I don't know his name, and it might not be Boris. I don't think it's Boris.
Wait, Life of Boris is actually Russian?
Yeah.
Holy shit. This whole time, I sincerely thought that Boris was like somebody from the UK doing a fake Russian accent.
Boris is Russian. I think like FPS Russia and them are all fake, but Boris, I'm pretty sure, is Russian.
I think it's
he's a Russian Estonian.
Oh, I think his name is Roman.
Do you want to go bowling with him?
Yes. I know it's a GTA 4 reference.
I know. I'm weak.
But he has like long hair, and he's made a couple videos with Bald and Bankrupt. Anyway, he was basically just sitting in front of his computer, and he's like, let me just tell you about how this is affecting us. We're fucked. We're all fucked. Like, they've made it so that he's a YouTuber, so he gets money from the United States. And so that's helpful because, the United States dollar is worth way more than the ruble, even before all this. And
oh yeah, but now,
yeah,
like there was a banking crisis. I think it was now 2 weeks ago, where people were draining banks of all the U.S. dollar, and like whenever they ran out of dollars, the long line of people all just turn around and left because we don't want fucking rubles. Go fuck
Yeah.
yourself.
Well, and they have made it so that if you get money from outside sources like that, there was an executive order, or the Russian version of an executive order, where 80% of that money, so if you get like $100 American, that comes in, $80 of that has to be converted to rubles in 3 days. So you have to give your money, the USD, 80% of it converted, so that way they can try to prop up the ruble to be worth something, anything.
But definitely not a dictatorship.
Definitely not a dictatorship. No.
No, not at all.
But yeah, so it is. It's all bullshit. And while again, we need to help, the people of Ukraine as much as possible. We also need to, hopefully address the hypocrisy that we have, because they're white, and that's the only reason they care. Kinda, is that the Ukrainians are white. I did see. You guys don't watch wrestling, but do you guys know who Kane is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he posted a tweet.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
After
Where-
taking Ambien.
I have no idea. Yeah, probably Ambien. But basically said that the leftists are weak, and the reason why Putin is invading is because might makes right, is what he was basically defending Putin and saying that leftists are weak because, and I was like, this has nothing to do with like left wing or right wing or anything.
No. I know what this is, what he's talking about, because I was talking to my dad a couple days ago about this. And my dad is hardcore right wing. This narrative is coming from some fucking right wing news group that is saying this stemmed from the Obama administration not keeping Russia in check at that point in time. We supposedly let Russia run rampant all over Eastern Europe and take whatever they wanted. And so now Putin and Russia have the expectation that they can just do whatever the fuck they want. And those lefty pussies over in the United States aren't going to do shit. Because, the United States is the peacekeeper for the entire planet. And it's completely the United States' responsibility to deal with all the bullshit that happens in every other country in the world. Even though the exact opposite sentiment is supposed to be, the MO of conservatives generally. I guess not anymore. Now we are supposed to be the worldwide peacekeepers, and everyone else's problems are also our problems.
Well, to be fair,
but only whenever it comes to military matters.
To be fair, at the end of it, I'm looking for the tweet right now. He does say, no, we should not get involved. But it says here, and I actually found the tweet. I found it. It says, if you on the left are shocked by Putin's aggression, wake up, sunshine. Historically, in the real world, might makes right. Weakness, which is really what the left is all about, is not a virtue. It's a fatal character flaw. And then he says, I highly doubt Putin cares a whit about toxic masculinity, the cancel culture, or any of the other things the radical left stands for.
Oh,
Hey,
so
Kane,
Kane just doesn't know how
Kane?
to read the room.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about, Kane?
Yeah, this is...
What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, none of this has to do with cancel culture or toxic masculinity. This has to, well, I mean, it kind of does have to do with toxic masculinity, because, I mean, Putin's dick don't work no more.
It's true.
And-
The dick
and-
don't work no more.
Yeah, and so that's what's
Well, I mean,
happening.
They might have made sure of that back whenever they, put him through all the psychological torture of being a KGB agent.
Yeah,
But now he's old. Dick
but-
don't work no more.
but, so that tweet has 3,451 likes. And the top rated tweet as a reply is the AEW champion Hangman Adam Page, who put, okay, here's the UNICEF support Children of Ukraine link. Here's the Ukraine Crisis Relief Fund. And then also 10 ruthless chair shots Kane took to the head, implying that Kane has brain damage.
Yeah.
So, and that has
Get ratioed. Haha.
yeah, that has 41,900 likes.
Ratioed.
Yeah, exact. But yeah, like it's just silly. This has nothing really to do with left or right. Like people are there's a lot of Republicans think that this wouldn't have happened if we had, Donald Trump as president, that Putin wouldn't have invaded. But
Yeah, except he would have, and then Trump would have said, "No, I mean, it's his right."
well, he did say, there's a quote years ago that I remember, that I think it was Crimea. I don't know if it was Ukraine, but it was Trump basically saying, well, I mean, Russia, they should just take over. They should be part of Russia because they all speak Russian. I think
Yeah.
it was Crimea, not
Yeah.
Ukraine, but
There's-
still.
No one else in history has ever made a similar argument about, like, Germany and Russia, or Germany and Austria. No one's
Or-
ever done that. No one-
Or how the United States should just be part of England because like
We speak English.
we speak English, duh.
Duh.
But yeah, so
God save the queen and whatnot.
this whole Ukraine situation, again, it has nothing to do with left or right. It has to do with Putin being a douchebag, and the people of Russia hopefully will be able to get him to not be the president of Russia.
Hopefully they'll
anymore.
kill him.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's be fair. We kind of hope that happens, but if that
But
doesn't
he's
happen,
probably in a bunker inside of a bunker 3 miles underneath the Earth's surface right now.
yeah. But anyway, I would
Which
like.
means the only answer is nuclear holocaust. We have
No.
to destroy the entire planet to kill him.
I would rather not do that. I would
Not
like
the right
to.
answer, but
I would like
maybe
to
it's
not.
time.
I would like to not use nukes. As in our warfare, that would be bad for the planet. Even though apparently some people are pushing for using nukes,
Yeah, no, that's a great idea.
which again, I think Donald Trump floated the idea, just riffing of
Yeah.
using nukes.
Which is like, yeah, I'm real fucking glad he's not the president anymore, because I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like, and the minute that a nuke goes off, everyone's dead.
Well,
Everyone's dead.
I actually have a coworker who was trying to defend Putin. And he was like, well, Ukraine wanted to join NATO and bring NATO right to Russian's doorstep. And I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
That doesn't mean that that's not like,
that's
a
their
reason.
fucking right.
yeah, they're a
Like-
sovereign nation that can do whatever the fuck they want. Like, if they want to join NATO and NATO approves, they should be able to do that and not have Russia fucking come up and be a douchebag.
No, we can't have unions. Unions are bad.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing. Apparently this could have, like, people are trying to say this could have been stopped if NATO, if we had come out and said NATO or Ukraine will never be part of NATO.
Why would we do that?
I don't know. Like they mentioned their intention to join NATO in like 2008. But again, I have no idea. It's not. It in any case, even if that was something that was a reason as to why Russia has invaded Ukraine, it doesn't fucking matter because they could have just not invaded the Ukraine. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's 100% on the person or the country well, mainly Putin, that has invaded the other country. It's blaming the victim, really. Like when they're like, oh, well, she got drunk at a party, so she was asking. No, the
Well,
rapist.
conservatives. Yeah, I was gonna say conservatives love to make that argument, though.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, it's
Conservatives also, love to rape drunked out people.
They
That's
do
true.
love to rape.
yeah, they do. Anyway, we are gonna end this podcast on that, and we're gonna say thank you for being here, Connor.
The moral of the story today is that conservatives love to rape.
I would like to say not all conservatives.
Hashtag
not
all conservatives.
Thank you for being here, Connor. Before we get into any more deep water,
Could we please call this episode "Putin's Dick Don't Work No More"?
I don't know if
Yeah,
that'll get syndicated on Spotify and all that.
You could put D.
Put
pound,
an
pound,
exclamation
pound.
point. D exclamation point CK. That'll be fine.
I was
Yeah.
thinking junk. Like
Uh,
Putin's junk don't work.
try put
Keener.
Onchichi.
Okay.
Poco.
Well, I'll figure something out. Thank you
Onchichi will work.
for being here, Aroa.
No problem. Follow me
And-
on Aroa at mastodon.aroa.website.
Yeah. And just so you know, Putin needs Viagra. That's what it's gonna be. Putin needs Viagra.
For his own chi-chi.
Yes. I don't know what that means. Is that penis?
Yes.
Okay. We'll
it's
be back.
PP.
Oh, I see. We'll be back next week. Hopefully with less political intrigue. Goodbye, everybody.
Unfortunately, that part's not up to us.